Welcome to day 2. I am so excited to go through today's work with you. This is a great training because we're going to talk about how you can connect authentically. And that's what we all want, right? We have such great things out there. We know so much and we want to share it with everybody, but we need to be able to have a way where we can connect in an authentic way, because authentic is what's going to bring people into that know, like, and trust factor so much faster, which will lead to them paying you for your coaching services, for your program, and then you living the life that you desire. Perfect, right? So day 1, we went through all of that positive, healthy mindset stuff. You're good to go, and we're just going to go ahead and dive into day 2's workbook. So if you haven't clicked on the download button to download your workbook, please do so. We're definitely going to be wanting to answer the questions in here, and of course you can just follow along with me and use a notebook as well. All right, so here's what we're doing. We're talking about how to connect authentically. And authentically to me is the best way to go because it's a strong foundation. It's building yourself. I mean, I know a lot of entrepreneurs who rely solely on Facebook ads. Well, what if one day, which isn't going to happen, Facebook said, "Oh, yeah, we're not doing Facebook ads anymore. Sorry." Well, those people would be kind of in a panic because that's what the only way they relied on getting traffic and sales. I don't want that to happen for you. I want you to build a strong foundation now. So then once you start using things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you have that foundation that's still working for you in the background. So when I run ads to my business, I'm getting traffic in double because I have all of my organic stuff going because I chose mediums for free content. That's always working for me 24/7. But ads work for me when I tell them to work for me, when I put the money up front for it, right? Your medium for free content is not going to be something that you are going to have to pay for. So let's talk about those mediums for free content. So the first one is blogging. We can have a blog. And the reason why having a blog is a great way to start is because it kind of gets your feet wet. And I know that a lot of people want to go to blogging first because they don't have to worry about going on video, using audio, because they're a little bit nervous to get started. So they feel comfortable with just the writing aspect. So blogging is a great way to get this going right when you're starting your business, or if you don't even have a free medium for content. So you can have a blog on your website and you can choose to be consistent with it. You don't have to blog every single week or every single day. I remember 8 years ago when I had a blog, I blogged every single day, which was crazy. And I want you just to pick what's going to work for you, what's going to make you happy. Is it going to light you up to have a blog post out every Monday? Or is it going to feel better if you do it every other Monday or once the first Monday of the month? What's going to work best for you? So choose what feels really good for you, really doable, fun, and easy, and pick that and be consistent with it. You can always build up on it as you go. So there's the first one, blogging. Second one is podcasts. I love podcasting because I like to talk. I like to just get my point out there and be done. Blogging is great. I used to blog for years, but I do like podcasting because not only do I get to meet a lot of amazing women on my podcast, but I also just get to connect with that sense of the hearing sense, where people can hear my voice, which allows them to become that connection to become even stronger. So the more senses we can activate, the stronger connection it will be, right? So we can write a really great blog post and we can have all kinds of traffic coming towards it. But there's 2 things that I notice about blog posts. Number 1, I don't see people screenshotting a blog post that they're reading. And number 2, I don't see a lot of people in our space, in the coaching space, really feeling connected because they read an article on why they switched to ConvertKit. I don't feel connected with people when they write about that, but I do feel connected when I listen to blog or podcast episodes because I can hear them. I can hear their tone. I can hear how they talk with others, and that kind of gives me a decision. It's a big decision maker for me. If I like how they are on a podcast, I'm going to want to learn more about them. And if I find somebody on a blog post, I always go and see if there's any interviews for them on iTunes. That's kind of what I do. And I think a lot of people do that as well. Another way you can have that free medium of content is through video. So you can have a YouTube channel and you can have video up there, and that can be your medium. You do not have to do all three of these. You do not have to do two. Just pick one. We need to have something that people can take for free and digest it and make that decision. Do I want more or am I good? Right? So it's just like when you're walking through a grocery store and there's a sweet little lady at this little table and she has like all these strawberries. It's like the peak of strawberry season. And you're like, those look so good. I've been craving those. I've been searching all over for like a really good strawberry. And you go up to the table and she just gives you like a couple slices. That's your freebie. And I have another really good analogy, and not as healthy as a strawberry. And you're like, wow, this is really good. I want more. So we need to give people a little taste of things so they want more. And that's going to lead into something in a minute. So before we decide to go on to my crazy analogy on the next page, I want you to decide what medium of content feels really good for you right now. What do you feel aligned to? I want you to check which one you like: blogging, podcasting, or video. And if you already do one and you really like it, you can continue doing that one. And if you have a pretty good ground with it and it's kind of doing its thing and you want to add something, sure, go ahead. What we've done in our business is we started out blogging. We blogged for years. Then podcasting came and the podcast started. Then we decided to make the podcast episodes into blog posts as well. So we kind of did a hybrid. And now we're doing a hybrid of all three of them. We are putting the podcast on YouTube and we're putting the YouTube video inside a blog post. So we have like a hybrid. You do not have to do this right away. This took me years to get to this point. But having one of them is a must before we move forward. And so once you pick one, I want you to ask yourself if this feels like it's aligned to what your values are, what your goals are, and how do you feel? Does it feel fun and easy to you to say that I have a blog? Does it feel fun and easy to you if you say, I'm going to start podcasting? And does it feel fun and easy to you by saying, I have a YouTube channel? How does it feel? And don't disregard the feelings that are coming up. You might be a little bit unsure, but those might just be like, this is something new and it feels a little uncomfortable. But if it feels like something you're like, well, I'll try to do it, but I don't know if it'll work, I don't want you to do it right now. Okay? So this choice that you're making, is it aligned to how the majority of your audience enjoys digesting information? Super important to know, because we want people to actually listen and watch and read our content. If we're going to spend time creating all of this, we want people to pay attention. So you should know your audience really well. Where are they hanging out on? If they're on Instagram, for example, what are you seeing them sharing when they digest content? So I can see a lot of my followers and people I follow, they're always screenshotting podcast episodes that they're listening to. I see that more than anything. So that's what was a huge trigger point for me to put the podcast out there, because that's how people were digesting information. So pay attention to how your people are digesting information. Will they watch a video, or would they rather listen and do other things, or do they like to sit down and read content? Okay? So those are all three very important factors to determine which one you chose is going to work well for you. Okay, so when we connect authentically, we build that coveted know, like, and trust factor, which will bring us our dream clients, of course. But before we sign on clients, this is where I get into my super amazing scholastic analogy. Picture it. You signing on clients is just like giving them tacos. We need to get paid in the currency of subscribers. This will make sense in a minute. Just stick with me. This requires you to optimize your content medium, your podcast, blog, or YouTube video, which is your taco stand, by providing a free appetizer like chips and salsa that you know they'll love. So you decided that you want to start a podcast. That's your taco stand. people are at your taco stand. They're like, wow, this is so cool. I love it. I'm going to come here every Monday. And then you're like, well, wait, I have chips and salsa because I know you love chips and salsa. And then more people come because they're hearing that you give off free chips and salsa, which is your freebie. So you can, when you have a podcast, you can talk about your freebies on your podcast. And if you have a blog post, you can talk about your freebies on your blog post. If you have a YouTube video, you talk about the freebies on your YouTube video. That's your chips and salsa. Okay? Everyone wants chips and salsa. They're going to show up because you decided to show up too. So they're eating the chips and salsa, they're loving it, and they're like, okay, every time I bring somebody on, they give me their email address and I give them a bowl of chips and salsa. So I get email addresses and they get their favorite food and we're good. So they're just like hanging out in your world, eating chips and salsa and having a great time. And then they're like, wow, she makes such great salsa. And I love how she presented it to us and she's so amazing. I love her already. I want more from her. I'm going to buy some tacos because if her free chips and salsa are this good, her tacos are going to be amazing. Okay, so your tacos are your clients. Got it? They're at the stand. They're at the podcast. They're downloading the freebies. They love the freebies and now they want to work with you. Okay? We need these three things to work this way in order to have those amazing dream clients, because they can go back and look, wow, I've come so far. I remember when I started working with her, I came to her because she had such great content and she had a great place. I downloaded all her podcast episodes. They have that history, and history is so powerful. That's why you need to do it this way, okay? This is how I built my business on nap times, working full time, working a few hours a day, not even, to a 6-figure coaching business, giving out lots of chips and salsa. Okay, so you have lots of space for you to take notes in this workbook. And because I am giving you a really cool way to plan out the next 90 days, because we need to plan out our chips and salsa. So important. So what we're going to do is I just kind of gave you a little snapshot of, this could be like my presentation platter. This could be like me holding a platter of chips and salsa, which is my landing page. And they can say yes or no. I can walk up to somebody with my platter of chips and salsa and say, hey, do you want the medium spice salsa with these kind of chips, and you're going to feel this way once you eat them. That's how our freebies are, okay? We need to be able to, we got to still sell our freebies. Even if we're not getting paid in a monetary way, we still need to sell them because we need our landing pages to convert. And in Standout Coaching Academy, we give you like any landing page template that you want. We use lead pages, and if you do too, you can have this landing page template, but I just took a screenshot of it because I want to show you how easy you can create a high converting landing page. Now, when you plan out your content for the next few months, this is going to be really important for you, because if you come up with really great ideas to plan out your content, then you're going to be, it's going to need to convert for you. So you can use this space for notes or however you want to do it. But what we're going to do is just kind of go over this, and then I'm going to give you 3 methods for you to get inspired for your next chips and salsa sale. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go into one of my favorite ways in Pinterest. Now, when you know your audience so very well, it's going to be really easy for you to go into a social media platform like Pinterest. Well, it's not even a social media platform. It's just like an search algorithm for me. If I want to know something, I usually just go to Pinterest. You're going to go here to get inspired. And there's 3 major ways that I like to get inspired. Like, let's say that you're giving them, different choices for chips and salsa. So I got to think of something that I know that they want. I need to think of content that my people will download. So let's say I'm an email marketing coach, right? And I want to make a freebie for my audience that I know they're looking for. So one thing that popped up in my mind right away was subject line ideas. So we can go ahead and type in subject line ideas, but I'm going to show you something right now. So just watch my search bar, okay? So if I go to subject lines, oops. Okay, so what it did was gave me 3 different titles, 3 different phrases that people are typing inside Pinterest. These are 3 concrete phrases people are searching for. It's telling me right away. I don't even need to guess. I just don't have to hit enter. I can let the search bar figure it out for me. I'm an email marketing coach. I want to make a freebie about subject lines, so I can clearly see people are searching for this. So I'm going to go to just the subject lines. And I'm going to look through all of these different pins because I know I'm going to get really inspired by so many things here because I know I can make a freebie, my chips and salsa, that my people are going to want to have, okay? So how to write better subject lines. That's a great freebie idea. And I want you to not just copy people. I want you to put your own twist on it. So sometimes I'll see like 20 subject lines or whatever. I want you to increase that number and put your own twist to it. So it's like, oh, this isn't the same as everyone else's. This is something that looks like it's actually going to stand out. Even like these are really good too. You're probably not getting a lot of opt-in rates, but putting a lot of information just on a pin will get you a lot of pins. But it's just important just to come through here. And this is probably one of my favorite places to go first when I'm trying to get inspired when I'm creating something new for my audience. So Pinterest is the first one, okay? Then we're going to go into Amazon. And I'm going to we're just going to stick with the email marketing coach because, it worked. So we're going to pretend we're an email marketing coach and email marketing books. We're going to go to the books, okay? Now, you'll probably be really familiar with the books that your people are reading. And I'm not an email marketing coach, so I'm not like into all of these books. But what I'm going to do is go into something like this one, 300 email marketing tips. I want you to go into a book that you know your clients are reading or have read, okay? But it has to do something with your business. So if your client came up to you and said, what kind of book should I read? I get that question all the time from clients, and I just tell them to go to my resource page. But your clients are going to ask you, what books should I read? Because they're just nerdy like that. They love it. That's what I do. That's what I do too. While I'm being coached, what should I read in the meantime? We all love to read. So we're always digging and trying to find more information. But here's how we're going to do this differently. We're not going to go and get inspired by the titles. We're not going to get inspired by the description. We're going to get inspired by the bad reviews. And this author is amazing because she doesn't have any bad reviews. So let's pick a book that has some bad reviews. Let's go here. We're going to scroll down. Okay, we got some 1-star reviews. Not very many, but here's what you're going to do. You're not looking at the 5s. You're looking at the 1s, 2s, maybe the 3s, but I would say hanging out in the 1s is going to give you some really juicy information. So what you're going to do is you're going to read these, not to think, oh boy, she got some bad reviews. You're reading these to get information. You're reading these to see like what were they looking for and what did they not find? Why are they disappointed with this book? Why did they feel the need to take the time out of their day and write this copy that's going to affect how the author feels? Why are they so powerful about what they say? Why didn't they like this book? What did they wish could be in here? What is missing? Okay. So a lot of it I can just see from as I'm glancing at it, as I'm talking, people are saying this is really, really basic. It sounds like they wanted something more advanced. It's useless. What I find when I do this kind of research, I really find that people are disappointed with how fluffy books are. Like in my space, they're really disappointed with that. They just want to know how to do something. So that's really important. People are really looking for the how-to. They're tired of just getting the same thing over and over. They just want to know how to do it, right? No matter what result, they're looking for, whether it's email marketing, happiness, love. They just want to know how. Okay? So you're going to find that that's a huge trend. And when you find all of these commonalities in those negative reviews, you're going to say, well, I know that I could provide this. So if you could actually reach out to Michelle here and say, Michelle, I know you were so disappointed in this book because it didn't do this for you, but I can help you do this. So I want you to have that conversation with each of those reviews and take in consideration if you can give them that result that they were looking for. Okay, that's the second way I like to get inspired. Okay, so the next one, answerthepublic.com. This is a perfect website if you like Google. And I remember hanging out in Google Keywords, and this guy's funny. I'm just going to keep him up here so you can watch him. I remember hanging out in Google Keyword and trying to find all these cool phrases to use for blog post titles, and it was really hard for me to decide which ones to use. There was so much information on there, but this is so much easier. Not only do you get to just stare at this guy here and let him look at you in a weird way, you can actually use it for your business. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to type in email marketing, or whatever your freebie is going to be, like your medium, your chips and salsa. What you're going to do is you're going to type it in, and it's going to pull all this information from Google. Now, this is a great example. So what it does is it takes your word or words. I wouldn't put too many words in there. It takes it, puts it in the middle, and then it grabs the common phrases typed inside Google search. And you can see that they're all grouped together so nicely, which makes me so happy because I can really pay attention to the whiches and the wheres and the wills and the hows and the whys. So for example, why is email marketing so good? Why does email marketing work? Email for marketing. How can I email marketing for free? And this is people's words, so they're not perfect. Which email marketing software is best? Hello, this would be amazing, an amazing blog post or podcast episode. So when you click on that phrase in the wheel, it pulls up that phrase in Google. And this is just another Chrome extension that I have. I think it's a Chrome extension where it gives me even more related keywords too. But you can just really go down a rabbit hole with all of this information. So it pulls out that keyword phrase that you clicked on, and it pops it in Google for you so you can see what websites are coming up in this search, what titles people are using, and it just kind of gives you a really good outlook as to what people are putting out there and what people are taking, because these are top Google searches. So this is obviously a great keyword phrase, and you have months worth of content, but just by going to Answer the Public. You can even scroll down and you can look at the prepositions. You can even look at the comparisons. I Google comparisons all the time, and you can see that people do as well. You can even get it grouped together alphabetically, which is super helpful. So if you're really doing a lot of research, you could print this out and just really pay attention to everything that's being used. And then we also have that email marketing visualization here, which is always nice to see. I love to grab these, and if I'm giving a training on something, I can just screenshot them. It's just, if you're a visual person like me, you, I'm sure, are appreciating this website so much because you can even download a CSV of it. It's amazing. Okay, so you get your inspiration. You're inspired. I'm going to make a freebie called email marketing. Let's see. How about, let's see, which one should we pick? I liked which email marketing software is best. So that's going to be like your podcast episode. Okay, so your podcast episode or blog post, and then you can even name your chips and salsa that title as well. So what you have to do is you need to get people to get that freebie. So if you're going to create an ebook, an audio, video training, whatever you're doing, I don't care. You need a converting landing page. So now we're back into the landing page. We're back into lead pages because we need conversions. So we're going to title our our freebie and our landing page exactly what we found on Answer the Public. We saw like which email marketing software is the best or whatever it was. Then I always like to give 3 bullet points on my landing pages. I make them powerful punches. Get the exact systems I use to make money in my coaching business so you can too. Finally know what tools a 6-figure coaching business utilizes so you can scale your own. And I'm not holding back. No secrets, just a list of everything I use right now. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. I always like to do a little mock-up of the freebie. I'll either do like an iPad mock-up or like an ebook mock-up because I think it gives them a visualization of what they're going to get. And they're like, oh, that looks like a cute little workbook. I want that. And they click the button, which is what we want. So I have some workspace for you to go ahead and plan out your next 90 days of chips and salsa. Now, people always ask me this. If they blog once a week, if they podcast once a week, or YouTube once a week, do I need to have a freebie for every single one of those weeks? No. You can create a freebie every month and just make your free content built around it. So you could have, let's say you had a blog post or a blog, podcast, or video, and you were going to talk about email marketing for the month of April. So you created your freebie. Now, your subject matter for that whole month is going to be around email marketing. So you can always refer people to the freebie. Your freebie should be kind of your vision. And then all of these content ideas, your taco stands, are going to have something to do with your freebie. So you're not going to like create an email marketing freebie and then talk about, toddler vegetables for toddlers the next week and then have to create a whole new freebie. Like that makes no sense. Make it easy on yourself. You can even go by quarters. You can say quarter 1, we're going to really dive into email marketing. I have a new freebie that I'm going to put up for quarter 1. Everything that we present at the taco stand is going to be around email marketing. But we're titling all our blog posts differently, our YouTube videos, our podcasts, but they all lead to the chips and salsa. Just like for me on the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, every single episode for over a year had the call to action to go download the 10 ways to book your dream clients, because that's all I talk about. It's always in that arena. So it doesn't matter. I don't need to keep pumping out new information all the time, right? Okay? All right. So you're going to come up with your ideas. You're going to create your titles for your freebies using the systems that I just recommended to you: Pinterest, answerthepublic.com, and Amazon 1-star book reviews. You're going to put all of your titles and your bullet points on these cute little cards that I made for you. And if you need extra space for notes, you got it. So if you have any questions or you need help researching your topic, please reply back to me or go to dreamclientcommunity.com. Ask for help. I'm here to help you. This is what this is all about. And I would love to hear what you have planned for the next 90 days. Have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow.